Arabella, I want to take you and us, all of us, into the restoration lab.
Yes.
Right? And this morning we had the opportunity to meet with Rossella Lardi, the head restorer, and her team at the restoration lab here. They are working with these tokens. There are 100, as we said before, and they're made of all different materials. Before you mentioned, sometimes it could be a coin, sometimes it could be a ribbon, sometimes it could be a piece of cloth, a photograph, etc. But one of the things that I found so interesting is that you call them brevi, right? Which means brief. But inside, tell them, right?
Inside, most of the time, but we do not open them, there were small letters or something written. Sometimes, especially later on, there were print prayers. There were a few kind of prayers that were suggested to be left together with the child.
Okay.
And when we talk about the different kind of tokens, even if there is a continuity, you see as well, this morning you saw as well, few medals, few coins, but there are also more and more this, let's call it complex tokens,
yes,
made of more than one piece and with very bright colors, very interesting. Sometimes they are very, very simple shape, other are more complicated, many hearts. We do have lenses, but this Brevi collection on which they are working in a very careful and interesting way, as you saw today, they are really getting alive, and it's a very important project and job that they are doing that require really an equip in order.
Well, exactly. And I think this is important too, because it opens our minds to what restoration is and what conservation is. But I just want to share with viewers that my first question when we looked this morning at these beautiful brevi, colorful and packed with maybe a prayer, maybe a poem, etc. My first question is, well, did you open them and see, what's inside? And Rossella Lardi, the restorer, said, no, because just out of pure curiosity, we don't violate a mother's prayer.
We are curious.
We are curious. And so what's the solution? They want to know.
So we are not going to open them even because they are authentic. We are not really restoring them. We are just cleaning, doing some small adjustment in order, let's say, a maintenance. But not only restorers are working with different specificity concerning to the materials. They are supervised by our conservator, Desdemona Vetroni. There is Lucia Ricciardi of the archive, Antonella Schena, who superintend the work, so many women. But it's important that one of the last passages we made, it involves some technicians, let's say. So this brevi where there has been X-rayed in order to understand what is inside, and most of the time is paper, but you cannot read actually what is written there. So perhaps we're gonna keep it as a sort of mystery. Absolutely.
Arabella, I think two things that you're saying that I just want to emphasize, and one is the importance of the team, the restoration team. A lot of times people have the idea that art maintenance or art conservation is linked to manual, let's say, skills, etc., and the restorer doing her thing, right? But in reality, it's a conversation, right? And that's where the name Restoration Conversation comes from, because a restoration is always a conversation. And in this case, we've had conversations with the sponsors, we've had conversations with the museum executives, with the technicians, with the conservators proper,
and
with the archivists.
Superintendents.
With two superintendencies, so superintendent of the Belle Arti,
Fine Arts and archival, archivistic. And we developed together the correct method, not only to maintain or restore, but also a very important part is to digitalize them in order to preserve it and to let them be used by people that are doing research, most of the time not touching them anymore because they are extremely fragile.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, it's a big conversation, an interesting conversation, and it was also a quite innovative conversation, so that we can really consider this a pilot project, and we hope that we can develop it more, but also other institutions can use the same methods. And as you see from Rio, not only they have been carefully looked and then cleaned, but then they have been taken out, detached from the documents and put in particular bags.
Detached. They've been detached.
Right, detached. But there are still the references to the original document. So as in the past, even if the objects are not together with the documentation that came in with the object and the child, you will always be able to reconduct that particular token to that particular child and to their own story.